Hi everybody, we're teaching Tilt Brush, and today's lesson is going to be some simple utilities on our controller here. We've actually got 4 utilities that are very straightforward, so we're going to get them all covered in this one lesson. On our controller, in the advanced tool setting, not the basic tools, but the advanced tools, across the top we have eraser, dropper, and recolor. And we also have at the bottom here the straight edge tool. So we're going to look at these right now, starting with the eraser. So if I'm drawing, and I've got lots of things going on all around me and above me and below me, but maybe I don't want all of these pieces. With the eraser tool, when I activate it, you can see my mouse, my controller, now gets this little red guy. Any line you touch, and then press the trigger, it removes it. If you hold it down and wave it through, it'll remove whatever pieces you touch. Simple eraser. We can undo the eraser to get those pieces back, one line at a time. If you have a complicated drawing with lots of interconnecting pieces, it could be tricky getting the eraser to touch just the piece you want. So sometimes using your size to make everything bigger, now it's a little easier to get my eraser tool on the right line and just pull out those pieces that you need. Bear in mind it's going to erase the entire line. There's no way to erase just a part of a line. So if I have a long, single drawn line, one point of the eraser gets rid of the whole thing. So if you're worried about that, you may have to draw a series of separate lines. That way your eraser can just get one piece and leave the other pieces intact. Eraser tool. It's a toggle. So it will stay the eraser until you turn it off, and then you're back to your original pen. Toggle the eraser, erase a couple of pieces. Back to my normal pen. That is the eraser tool. So the next tool we're going to look at is this dropper tool. Now many people are used to a computer graphics program where if I have several different colored lines going, we would expect that dropper, activate the dropper, and choose a line. And now you're back in that color. Dropper, line, green. Dropper, line, blue. However, I'm going to use my eraser tool and get rid of these guys, get rid of some of the clutter here. Now, if I actually am using different brushes. So here is some blue spatter, and then we're going to have some green light, and then we're going to have some red paper. The dropper tool, not only does it get color, it gets the entire brush. And now I'm going to dropper the blue, and it gets the blue splatter. Dropper red paper. And I get the red paper. So it's not just color, but this will actually do the entire tool itself, the size and the color and the shape. So you can always go back to the exact one you need. So that's the dropper tool. This one is not a toggle. It's simply turn it on, and the moment you click a line, it's gone. And we're now back into a normal brush. So eraser and dropper. The third tool we're going to look at is Recolor. This one does just do color. So you'll notice right now this light is green, and I've got a blue brush. Recolor, anything I touch turns blue. It's still the same brush, so this paper is still paper. The light is still light. Recolor lets you choose any color. How about a nice bright orange? So now any paint I touch, it just changes the color, not the type. So Recolor lets you choose any color, and now I can change all of my lines to be the same shade of green, or whatever color you choose. It is a toggle. It will stay recoloring, whoops, until you actively turn it off. And now it's back to a normal brush tool. So Recolor just changes the color of the existing brushes. Lots of pieces playing with now. So eraser to remove pieces, dropper to duplicate that style of brush, Recolor to change the color of any object in your painting. The final one we're going to look at today is straight edge. This is another toggle. It stays on until you turn it off. And the way it affects your brush, instead of painting normally, where you click and hold the button down is your starting point. And as long as you hold the trigger down, the line is still stuck to your controller. So you can get it exactly where you want it and let go, and it's a straight line. So I can do several perfectly straight lines, but I don't have to let go until I've got it exactly where I want it. Now what's interesting is the straight line tool will work with guides, but maybe not as you expect it. So I'm going to bring up my circle guide here. Remember these guys? Circle. With no straight edge, I'm painting on the surface of this circle. You can see how my light stays on the surface. If I have the straight edge active and I start painting, you can see how it's just making a straight line from one point on the circle to another point on the circle. So with the straight line tool, I'm not painting on the surface of the guide. The guide is acting as a location for my starting point, and the ending point stays on that sphere. So if we want to use that limitation, the guides are good for that. Whoop. Or we can just draw straight lines in the air. This will work with any tool, so I can have straight lines of fire or straight line of stars. So now the stars are sparkly, but they will only ever stay in this line that I create. And there's the straight line of stars. Turn the straight edge tool off, and now we're back with putting stars wherever you want. So the straight edge tool just causes your controller to only do straight lines. Regardless of which brush you're using, straight edge, hold at the starting point, let go where you want that ending point to be, and it gives you that guide. So again, eraser, dropper, I can now pick up the stars, more stars. Recolor to just change the color of your existing pieces, and straight edge so that when you draw a new line, that line is going to be controlled exactly where you want it to go. So that's teaching tilt brush today. We've got a lot of fun tools to play with, and most of them are going to be controlled by our variations, erasing them, coloring them, copying them, or even giving them a straight edge. I can't write with a straight edge, so I'm going to write this as I normally do, and hopefully you guys will keep coming back for more and see what other exciting things we've got. I'm actually going to have to erase some of these pieces so you can read my words better. There we go, eraser tool, so that what you want to keep shows up nice and strong. Thanks for joining us, and have fun with Tilt Brush.